Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going over something that I believe is one of the best chatterbaits to throw, or bladed jigs, however you want to call it. What's my favorite, and I'm going to tell you guys why it's my favorite and why I like to throw them and what scenarios I like to throw this bait. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dig right into it, guys. So my favorite, and I mean my favorite, chatterbait to throw of all time is going to be this guy here, the old Jackhammer. Old reliable. The reason I like throwing the Jackhammer chatterbait is because it has a lot of versatility, and also the sound and the thump that it makes is far superior than a lot of the other chatterbaits that I've used in the past. You know, like the original chatterbait, some of the knockoff chatterbaits that you'll see on like Amazon, eBay, places like that. The Jackhammer has a true thump that I feel really performs well and shows really good action on the bait when it's going through the water. I always fish my chatterbait with a trailer as well, and let me just show you before I go through some of these other chatterbaits that I have in my arsenal. Let me show you some of the, just an example of one of the trailers I use here. I'll make another video specifically going over chatterbait trailers, but as you can see here, this is a 3/8 ounce chatterbait, and I have a, as you can see there, I have a juggle 6 cents trailer on that. And the action on this is really, really good when it's going through the water. I mean, that tail's flipping all around. And I do believe fishing with a trailer on your chatterbait is very important. I would never fish a chatterbait without having a trailer up there. I don't care what I'm fishing, where I'm fishing, what the scenario is, what the water's like. I don't care. I truly believe having a trailer on your chatterbait is really going to help you be more successful in catching more fish. This is another example of one of the chatterbaits I like to use. This is a 3/4 ounce chatterbait, and the one I just showed you before on my other rod was, like I said, that was a 3/8 ounce. And one thing about this 3/8 ounce chatterbait is it allows you to fish and cover different type of water depths. And what I mean by that is if you're in real shallow water fishing grass and you're really trying to get that chatterbait to stay, you know, just above that grass, I really like to go to the 3/8 ounce size. And that'll allow me to be able to fish, you know, just above that grass without getting hung up in it, and it really increases my chances of getting bit while fishing in grassy areas that are, you know, that you can't fish with a heavier chatterbait. Because if you're fishing a heavier chatterbait in grass, one thing that's going to happen is you're going to get hung up in the grass a lot. You're going to waste a lot of time trying to get that bait unhung. So I just like to go ahead and go with a lighter chatterbait when I'm fishing in scenarios like that. Now this 3/4 ounce chatterbait that I was just showing you here, I like to fish that when I'm, you know, fishing on points or fishing on windy banks, bluff walls, things of that nature. I really like to use this when I'm covering, you know, anywhere from that 5 to 10 foot depth range. Sometimes I'll slow roll this bad boy depending on the time of the year. Right now, you know, by it being the spawn time of the year for bass, or pre-spawn, spawn, and post-spawn, I like to speed this bait up a little bit because some of those bass, you know, depending on the times that you catch them, they can be very active. So sometimes speeding the bait up will yield more bites, but in the colder times of the year, you want to slow that bad boy down. And then there's another chatterbait that I like to use. This isn't the Jackhammer. I actually just started using this guy here. This is the Evo chatterbait, and look at the colors on this, guys. I mean, look at the color on that blade. I mean, that thing really shines and shows up well in the water. And I've had some good luck on this bait so far. Haven't fished it a lot. As I fish this bait a little bit more, I may make a video specifically on this, but I've been very impressed with this bait as well. It does have a similar design to the Jackhammer chatterbait. Let me just get this other one just to show you for comparison. Let me get another one out here. Bear with me, guys. So you can look at the overall design of the head. It's very similar. Hopefully you can see that good there. Very similar, the blade style is similar. But overall, the Evo, like I said, this is really a good bait. And like I said, you can see the comparison between the two. I really like how this guy performs, even compared to the standard Jackhammer. Has a really good dump in the water compared to the Jackhammer. Like I said, I do need to fish a little bit more with this just to see overall how I believe it compares to the Jackhammer. One thing I can say about this bait in particular is it's much cheaper than the Jackhammer. Is about half the cost. So, you know, if you're thinking about getting a Jackhammer, but you're like, yeah, that's a little expensive for me, you can always try the Evo, the Chatterbait Evo out. Like I said, I've had good luck with it so far, and I definitely recommend it. And hopefully I can provide some more details in a future video for you guys regarding this one. With that being said, let me show you some of the other chatterbaits I have in my arsenal. One last thing that I wanted to point out. This 1/2 ounce that I have here on this Evo, this Chatterbait Evo, this is really good too for that. You know, if you do want to fish in some grass and you want to really burn it, you can fish this guy out there and really, you know, burn it back across that grass. It's going to keep its action. Sometimes on a 3/8 ounce chatterbait, if you try to reel it too fast, you're going to mess up the chatterbait's going to roll on you. And in some cases, you don't really want that chatterbait to roll on you. You want it to stay true and accurate to his performance in the water. But like I said, if you really want to burn in the shallow water, you can fish this 1/2 ounce. And then if you're fishing in that mid water column as well, you want to slow roll it, you don't want to fish it as fast, you can also try this 1/2 ounce chatterbait out as well. It's really good, really like it. So let me go through some of the other chatterbaits that I have in my arsenal as well. Just some of the other colors that I like to use. Traditionally, I do like to use this color that you see here. I'll link the descriptions down below for you guys to be able to see exactly you know, what chatterbaits these are and what colors they are. But I like to fish a lot of shad colored chatterbaits and white colored chatterbaits. This is actually a thunder cricket here, but I like to fish those white colored chatterbaits as well, just to mimic the bait fish. And then I also like to fish this color. This is like a it kind of has a brim color to it, as you can see here. This is also really good in, you know, waters where the forage is mostly brim, not so much shad. This is where you get bit around really good there. And also, if you're fishing in some clear water, it's always nice to change the chatterbait up. Shad profiles will also work well in clear water, but sometimes that, you know, that green pumpkin will also perform really well. And I also like to fish this in this green pumpkin chartreuse. That's also performs really well in stained water and performs well in clear water as well. So definitely you want to make sure that you are fishing the right colors for the water clarity that you're fishing in. And I also like to, you know, when I'm not really getting bit on the standard chatterbaits, I like to throw a chatterbait that has a gold blade on it. Sometimes I feel like in certain scenarios that gold blade, I don't know what it does to the fish, but some days they just want it, guys. So trust me, you want to have a gold bladed chatterbait or jackhammer in your arsenal as well, just to be able to, you know, to have that ability of doing, you know, something that, you know, if you're not getting bit on the other chatterbaits, that gold one, oftentimes I get bit on that one when all the others fail. And one thing I'm sure everyone is aware, but during the chatterbait, they perform really well in the wind. So whenever you have a day where, you know, the wind's blowing pretty good, you can never fail with throwing a chatterbait. I have had a lot of success actually throwing a chatterbait in other scenarios where I don't have wind. You know, if it's cloudy, you know, or if any time that it's cold, I seem to get bit with the chatterbait over most other moving baits as well. And there's some other chatterbaits that Zman offers. Let me see if I can find them here for you. So Zman also offers a Stealthblade jackhammer as well. As you can see here, this is a clear bladed jackhammer chatterbait. This one also performs very well, and it just depends on the scenario. Sometimes if those fish are being a little finicky, I like to throw this. That blade doesn't have as much of a thump compared to the standard metal bladed chatterbaits. And I feel like sometimes the fish, you know, they want that type of cadence, and that's where I'll throw this guy scenarios like that. You also have this like wobble style chatterbait here. This is really good as a slow rolling type chatterbait, or almost like letting it barely move on the bottom. It works really good as looking like a crawfish, and it works good too if you run a crawfish type trailer on it, or any trailer that has two appendages. That does really well. And I like to throw that in the shad profile, and also like to throw it in a crawl type color as well, like you see here with this green pumpkin looking color. And Z-Man also makes a 1 1/4 ounce chatterbait as well for, you know, when you're trying to fish extra deep water, you know, 10, 15 foot deep. This is a really good chatterbait that's going to allow you to get down to those types of depths and be able to, you know, catch those suspended fish and be able to get it in the right location in that water column to catch those fish. So that pretty much covers everything when it comes to the chatterbait itself, or the jackhammers. Like I said, it's my favorite chatterbait to throw. And I like to throw them on different types of reel and rod setups. But my main go-to, and I'll show you here in a moment if I can learn how to shut my tackle box. And one of my favorite rods to throw the chatterbait on is going to be this MF'er, made by 6 cents. Milliken helped design this rod here, and overall I really like to throw this. This is a 7-foot heavy moderate rod, and overall I feel like this rod gives me enough sensitivity to feel the chatterbait dumping in the water, and also it gives me some good backbone. So when I go to set the hook, I get a good hook set on the fish, and I can go ahead and reel and crank that fish in. I don't like to play around with my fish. When I get them on the end of my line, unless I'm finesse fishing, I like to go ahead and hook them, crank them on in, get them in the boat. So that, the less time they have spinning in the water, the less time they have, trying to get off of your line or off your bait. So that's one reason I like to fish a slightly heavier rod than most other people will probably use on a chatterbait. And I also like to throw 15-pound Seaguar and Viz X as well. It seems to be, plenty strong, and it allows my bait to still perform the way I want it to in the water. And like I said, I have the strength in the line to also reel those fish in and get them in quickly. And I like to also throw this on a typically anywhere from like a 7, 2-to-1 to even an 8, 1-to-1 gear ratio reel. Depends on how quick you're trying to burn it, but with my chatterbaits, I really like to move them a little quicker than most people will. I just feel like that helps trigger those reaction bites. When that bait's coming across pretty fast in front of the fish face, and you see that trailer just dangling, in front of them, they can't help it. They got to go get it. So that pretty much covers my rod and reel setup as well. Last thing I want to do is I have some notable mentions here. As I did say before, the jackhammer is my favorite and my go-to chatterbait of all time. But there are scenarios where I might throw a thunder cricket like you see here. In certain scenarios where I'm not getting bit on a jackhammer, I might go back to the original chatterbait that you see here. And then also, for fishing in some real heavy cover, but I still want to throw that chatterbait. And I have this Project Z chatterbait that you see here. This is a more of a weedless style chatterbait. It has a weed guard here to let you be able to fish, those heavy cover situations. I do have some of the Amazon, eBay branded chatterbaits as well. I can honestly tell you I don't throw those much. Haven't really caught much on them. Not saying you can't catch them, but I probably haven't given enough time in the day because I'm having so much more luck on the jackhammer and other chatterbaits in my arsenal. So, but I have tried these and they just don't have the movement that I like. But I'm a big chatterbait fisherman, so I like to try out different designs and different styles of chatterbaits just to try them out. But overall, like I said, as far as chatterbaits go, I'm going to be doing a jackhammer. I would say 90% of the time when I'm doing a chatterbait, and I'm going to always have a trailer on that bad boy to increase to what I feel like increases my chances of catching those fish. Another notable mention that I have here is the big blade chatterbait. I throw that a little bit as well. As you see, this is a black and blue color. I also like to throw a Shad profile for that. And then this is just one of my backups. You always got to keep some backup chatterbaits of your favorite colors, so that way if you lose one, you got another you can tie right on and keep going. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Hope you found it useful, informational. If you have any questions about the techniques that I use or the profiles that I like to use when I'm fishing my chatterbaits, please let me know in the comment section down below. And I will be making another video of what my favorite trailers are for the chatterbait as well. So like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to go down, comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.